So Google just went live with one of its most powerful AI tools to date. And get this, it's not some far-off demo. You can actually use it right now. It's called Jules 2.0, and it's built to handle tasks so complex you'd think you'd need a whole team of developers. Let's really dig into what makes this thing so different.
But before we jump into the how, let's talk about the why. When we think about building something new, what's the thing that's really holding us back? Is it the big, brilliant ideas? The high-level architecture? Or is it something else? Something kind of hiding in plain sight? Well, the answer, almost every single time, is this invisible friction. It's all the tedious, repetitive, and, let's be honest, unglamorous grunt work. The stuff that eats up hours and just completely kills your creative flow. It's the work that has to be done, but nobody really wants to do it.
To really appreciate what Jules is built to solve, we first got to take a closer look at this hidden workload that developers are dealing with every single day.
I mean, think about it. You're constantly jumping between your code editor, the terminal, then over to GitHub, and back again. You're running the same tests over and over and over. Or maybe you're spending half the morning just trying to get your development environment to look exactly like it did last week. Each one of those little interruptions, that's the friction that just grinds momentum to a halt.
So how do you get rid of all that friction? Well, Google's answer isn't just another tool you have to juggle. Nope, it's a totally different way of thinking. It's time to meet your new AI teammate. So what exactly is an AI coding agent? Look, this is not just another autocomplete trying to guess your next line of code. Think of Jules 2.0 as a genuinely autonomous teammate. You give it a job to do, and it handles the entire thing, all by itself in the background. This frees you up to tackle the next big, important problem.
And here's the really clever part. When you give Jules a task, it clones your entire code base into a secure, totally isolated virtual machine on Google Cloud. This is key because it means Jules understands the full context of your project, not just the one file you're looking at. And then it gets to work asynchronously. You're not sitting there watching a cursor blink, you just go about your day, and Jules works in parallel.
All right, now let's see how all this actually comes together in practice. We're going to dig into some of the standout features that create a way smarter, way faster workflow. Okay, a perfect example of this is managing pull requests. You know the drill, right? You're bouncing back and forth between your IDE and GitHub. It's a total workflow killer. With Jules, you can open, review, and merge branches right there, all in one place. For any team that's doing a lot of merges, this saves a massive amount of time. And that leads to one of its absolute game-changing features, the Critic Agent. It's basically an AI code reviewer that's way smarter than a simple syntax check. It's actively looking for bugs, it's finding inefficiencies, it warns you about logic that's going to break later on. The source material put it perfectly. It's like having a senior developer looking over your shoulder, telling you exactly where you're about to shoot yourself in the foot. And there is so much more. Environment snapshots let you freeze your entire setup, which is a lifesaver for that "what version was I using" headache. You can tweak project plans on the fly. It can even surf the web and pull up official documentation right inside your workspace so you never lose focus. And for testing, it hooks right into frameworks like Playwright. You see, every single feature is designed to remove a specific pain point. Okay, so with all these bells and whistles, you're probably wondering how Jules actually compares to the other AI coding assistants that are already out there. This is probably the most important thing to understand. A tool like GitHub Copilot, that's your AI pair programmer. It works with you, side by side, suggesting code as you type. Jules 2.0, it's in a completely different category. It's your AI autonomous teammate. It works for you, taking entire tasks completely off your plate and running with them on its own. It's a fundamental difference. And under the hood, the engine driving all of this is Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is Google's most advanced AI model. That's what gives Jules the serious brainpower it needs to understand huge code bases, plan out complex multi-step tasks, and just juggle a ton of operations at once. All right, so you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds incredible, but how do I actually start using it? Let's walk through what it takes to get up and running. The pricing is actually bundled with Google's existing plans, which is pretty clever. It scales really nicely too.
all the way from a basic Google One plan for casual users up to an AI Pro plan for full-time developers, and then there's an Ultra tier that's really built for entire teams running hundreds of tasks every day. But let's just pause on that entry-level price for a second. Less than $2 a month with a Google One plan gets you in the door. I mean, that's just wild. It makes this incredibly advanced AI tech accessible to pretty much everyone. Students, hobbyists, solo devs, you name it. And getting started is dead simple. Seriously. You just go to the website, sign in with your Google account, and link up your GitHub repository. That's it. The whole process is designed to be just as frictionless as the tool itself. Now, before you dive in, here is a really important pro tip. Because you have a limit on how many tasks you can run each day, the quality of your instructions, your prompts, really, really matters. The clearer and more precise you are, the better the result you'll get on the first try, which means you get to make the most out of your daily limit.
You know, all of this really leads to a huge, thought-provoking question. As these autonomous agents like Jules 2.0 get more and more capable, are we heading toward a future where the main job of a developer is less about writing code line by line and more about being a director? You know, someone who defines the goals, reviews the outcomes, and just guides these intelligent agents to build the final product. It's a pretty wild shift to think about.